I feel like guys, we can't just start hugging each other. So what we did instead, we started wrestling.
Oh my God.
We started wrestling, and at the time I didn't do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so I was getting my ass kicked.
This is so male.
But we were all just like shirts off, hugging, wrestling. So straight, you know, dude. Like, hey man, show me that chokehold again. But really, it was a way for us to hug. All right. The podcast has started. I'm just going to say it started.
Oh, okay.
It has started. And
we take 3 weeks off and the vibe completely changes. We are now just shooting in a blank white room. I know, it's like purgatory.
That is exactly the energy I want to have. Can I tell you, just as a fun existential crisis thing, is I think my worst fear is not to be in hell, but to be in purgatory.
I can understand that.
Just like in a white space, just by myself forever. Yeah. Actually, it might be tight. I don't know.
In between? Like where you just like don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen.
You're just perpetually waiting.
Forever?
Yeah.
Oh. No.
You're alone with your thoughts. That's the hard part.
That's really scary.
Yeah. I would need like TV. Does Purgatory come with TV service?
It does, but it's not premium cable.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, yeah.
There's ads. Oh my God, it's like Hulu with ads.
Oh, it's just ads.
Yeah, it's just... That is hell, though.
That is hell. It's just like... And you can keep skipping them, but they just go on forever.
Yeah, that is hell.
It's like 5 seconds of like a Marvel trailer and then 5 seconds of...
Oh my God, no.
Like an e-commerce thing.
Yeah, I rather there just be blackness.
Yes. Just like, put me in hell.
Yeah,
just
seriously.
Put me in the fire.
Yeah.
I could get, you know?
Honestly, it's fine. I can take it. I don't love heat, but I'll take it.
Can you imagine you're in hell and you're just complaining to
I
don't love heat, it's sweaty.
Yeah, is there AC here or what?
AC in here? Well, at least do you have ad-free Hulu?
Yeah. That would be me though.
Satan would have ad-free Hulu.
But I would be going like this. I wouldn't be complaining like that. I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I don't really want to be that person. But I would love to have ad-free Hulu.
Yeah, exactly. Just very polite still, but like passive aggressive in hell. And they're like, listen, we're getting you to heaven. Yeah. Because you're so annoying. This is the Asian Not Asian podcast, okay? Where two Asian people talk about the beyond, okay? And it's a lot of fun. My name is Mike Nguyen.
I'm Jenny Arimoto.
And we took a little bit of a break just because we had a whole bunch of guests and it was awesome. And now we're just going to have a couple episodes just vibing, man.
Yeah, just us two getting into the real stuff finally.
Just us two getting into the real stuff. I love your shirt today.
Thank you. It's my aunt's old shirt. It actually has matching shorts. It's like this purple floral like Hawaiian shirt with these matching shorts. I've never been confident enough to wear the combo because it feels really loud. But I think I'm reaching that point.
Is it a shorts where like the shorts are really high-waisted and pleated?
Yes.
Boom.
Wait, how did you know that?
I just know how Asian women of a certain age dress, man. That is exactly like I'm imagining crazy. Like my aunt would wear something like that.
Yeah.
And you know, you could see it in a picture of them like standing in front of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like they got it tucked in and
totally
the whole thing. Yeah.
That's incredible the way that you called that. Let me just say this shirt gets a lot of reactions from people.
Yeah.
Like especially men. Like I have a couple shirts for some reason that like if I wear it in a video or something, I get asked like, where did you get that?
Yeah.
Or like, love your shirt.
It's sick.
And this is one of those shirts.
From men though.
From men.
And we should say, since I forgot this is an audio medium.
I was like, this is an audio. That's how I tried to describe it.
Purple, blue, and teal, like floral Hawaiian shirt, purple buttons. Yeah. Camp collar. Outstanding.
Yes.
What's this made of?
I don't know. Feel free to. You're the one who knows.
I'm gonna have to look. It's not silk, but not in a bad way. I'm not hating on you.
Honestly.
This is something. It's amazing. But I guess
this shirt gets reactions.
It's really good, and I feel I have a very similar shirt. It's made of silk though, and we should wear it together during our outing with our special friend.
Yeah,
we're going on an outing with a special friend. We kind of don't want to talk about it yet.
Yeah, until it happens.
Because we're not sure if it will.
Yeah,
but you and I should dress very similarly to it. And just weird them out.
I don't know why we're trying to
weird him out.
Like really freak out this person who we respect greatly.
And has been very nice to us.
They're very kind to us.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
It's a fire shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, we're just going to be vibing. We got a couple of things to hit up today.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be fun. This will be a fun kind of like,
catch-up episode.
It's structured sort of like a, what's that bowl of sushi that everybody's all into now?
Pokeball bowl?
Yes. But instead of like a salmon and, like a seaweed, it's going to be a little bit of race news. It's a little bit of voicemails. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a little bit of just us hanging out and catching up with each other. And it'll be delicious.
Incredible. And that also just makes me really hungry.
Oh, I'm so hungry. And before we get into it, if you're checking us out on your iPhone, take a screenshot, post it, send it, tag us at Asian Not Asian Pod on Instagram. We finally got to 15,200 followers.
Woo!
Something is happening. I don't want to get into the analytics. Okay, well, that's one of my things. I'm trying not to do. I'm trying not to be an insights Asian when I'm like looking at that all the time.
The worst feeling is looking at your Instagram dashboard.
I fucking hate line graphs now.
Yeah, don't look at it.
I hate it. So, but please tag us and you leave us a review if you're listening to us on the podcast app. You can leave a review, leave us 5 stars, leave us a little comment. We love reading them. And if you're on Spotify, you can hit follow. And if you're on YouTube, hello YouTube, hit subscribe, leave us a little comment. Tell us about, what is your most fire shirt that you have? The one that you're going to pull out when it's like, it's time to flex on every motherfucker in this bar.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Do you have something like that? Is it this one?
No, I don't have fire shirts, but I have shirts that get reactions.
Okay.
This is one. I have this one sweater with a dog on it that I bought in Tokyo like years and years ago with my mom. And it's like this cartoon bulldog. And I wore it to work thinking, okay, it's just like a cute sweater.
Yeah.
And I wore it to work like years ago, and my coworker / guy I was kind of secretly dating said, "What is this sweater?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "It's a dog." And then he's like, "I don't like it." Like really intensely.
Like
I didn't wear it after that for years because I got that reaction. Wore it to work in New York. Mm-hmm. I think that speaking of this is giving you hives. That's why you're coughing.
Oh my God, I'm teary-eyed.
Yeah. I wore it to work one day because I was like, I wonder what's going to happen if I wear this sweater to work in New York. I was in line to get like a drink, and a guy like at work, a guy comes around and he goes, hey, your sweater. That's it. It wasn't good or bad. He just said, your sweater, wow. And then left. And then someone else stopped me and said, whoa, your sweater. But it's never good or bad. It's just like this like reaction to it. And now I like am afraid of wearing it. Okay. I still have it though.
We're gonna cut this podcast right now. You're gonna go home, get the sweater.
Yeah.
Put it on and
I will wear it when it gets colder. I will wear it because it's like a sweater. Seriously, it's just it's a sweater with a dog on it. And people, I swear, every time I wear it, someone will say something to me.
I love that your power shirt is a cute dog sweater, because mine was going to be, oh yeah, silky shirt that's floral, blah blah blah, like I'm doing cocaine, and you're like, mine's a cute one that
people yell at me.
People yell at you, and not in a good or bad way.
Yeah, it's not a positive reaction.
So leave a little comment about what your most fire shirt and or reaction sweater is. And and that'll be fun. We're also going to do a quick Patreon shout out to a couple of new people. We've got Patreon is the best way to support the podcast. You can donate money, and we do all sorts of fun stuff, of which one of them is give you a shout out on the podcast. It's patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod. This is an interesting one. Mm-hmm. Okay, we guess your ethnicity when you donate, and this person's name is Fukiko Machado.
Ooh, it was easy for 1 second.
It was going okay, and then boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Left turn to Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo.
Oh, maybe is Machado? Is that?
I think so. There's a really famous group of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys. They're Machado brothers, and I know that Japanese people. There's a big presence of them.
Okay, this person is Japanese Brazilian.
Boom.
Because there's I think the biggest population of Japanese people outside of Japan is in Brazil.
I want to say that's true. I feel I've heard that somewhere too.
There's which is always shocking to me when you see someone, you know, who's Japanese and then they're like fluent in Portuguese.
Right.
And you're like, wait, what the heck?
What the fuck?
But also me speaking English, they're probably like, what the heck?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yo, I think we got this one. I'm so curious now about how, you know, this person's ancestry, because they, you know, I don't know exactly the circumstances for Japanese people moving to Brazil en masse.
It's probably just opportunity.
Just work, right?
Or like farming opportunity.
Yeah, I think farming opportunity.
I know so little.
Me too.
I just know there's pretty good Japanese food there from what I hear.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yo, get us some food,
yeah.
Fukiko.
Okay, Fukiko, let us know how accurate we are.
Yeah,
because we are accurate.
Because I want to say that, you know, okay, your grandfather or grandmother moved to Japan 1910-ish.
You mean Brazil?
Brazil, sorry.
Yeah.
Brazil from Japan, 1910-ish. Okay. Then they had a kid. So you're like third generation or whatever, you know. You're the granddaughter of the person of the immigrant.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's good.
I'm getting so specific.
I like
about
that.
This.
That also kind of mirrors my journey, so I like it. My
right.
family journey.
Oh, that's cute. You know? Okay, I love it. Yeah. What kind of Asian were you this week, Jenny?
I was a birthday Asian.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, Leo energy, for showing up immediately, being like, "It's my birthday." Yeah, it was my birthday this week. It's been every time I always am like, I don't care about my birthday.
Yeah.
And then I care a lot.
Yeah. I love it.
So it's been very fun. Also the weather has been fantastic. Like there was like a heat wave and then it cooled
Crazy
down.
Yeah.
So it was like nice to be able to be outside.
Yes.
And not feel like completely in pain.
Yeah.
And I like have spent a lot of time with my friends and all of that. I will say I've been kind of having this interesting existential crisis. I think this is maybe the second time the word existential crisis has come up today.
Yep.
I've been like having this interesting kind of thought where I'm like, why do I need to do comedy?
I think about that too.
Yeah. And I like think when it's my birthday, I do a lot of like, obviously have you met me? I love to do reflections and then thinking about goals for the next year.
Can I, you don't have to say, is this like a big birthday?
No.
Okay.
Last year was my big birthday.
Okay.
I can say my age. I'm 31 now.
Oh, okay.
So last year was a big one where I was like turning 30. My 20s were over. Like I went all out last year, and a lot of my like reflections and stuff were very clear. Like I knew what my growth was. I knew what I wanted, whatever. And I think much like turning 31 is, it just feels like not a huge change, but also like reflecting, I'm like, why do I need to do comedy? Yeah. And so I've been like thinking about that a lot. Where I'm like, why do I crave the external validation of people laughing to feel good?
Yes.
Not to immediately make it dark, but I was having that thought, like, what is it about me innately that I need this? But then I do like a stupid improv show and then I'm like, it's so fun.
Yeah.
So then, but I'm like, is it just the fun part? Like, I don't know. And so I've been kind of thinking about that a lot.
So the thing that kind of trips me up sometimes is the doing the art form versus the growing your career. Those are like the two, because when I'm doing a show, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
When I'm, you know, although I did a show yesterday and it was so bad. I did so bad. I like sat at the bar and nobody talked to me. Bad. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this sucks.
It happens though.
But at the same time, at least I was like, okay, at least I did it. And I know I'm going to have bad things. That's part of the art form. But then, so when I'm in that space, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the posting stuff to social media, how many followers do I have? What's the next kind of project I'm working on? That's when my butthole gets like really weird. Yeah. You know?
I get that. I think that I agree. Cause like when I do like a dumb thing, a small scale show, right? It's just for fun.
For fun.
That's when I remember this is all stupid and dumb and fun. And the whole point is just laughing and like making other people laugh, like your friends laugh. Yeah. And then it is like when I start writing something and I get notes or like whatever. I do like writing and doing that stuff. But what I like is kind of culminating in like creating something and then having it acted out and like whatever. That's the fun,
making of
cool
the thing
part.
is cool.
Yeah. But it is like when it's consumed, and you start getting like, it is the social media part of it, feedback on it or whatever, that I do spiral where I'm like, why do I need people to love me like this?
I think, because I think you and I, we got into this kind of thing because we're kind of like trying to push back on like grind culture, you know what I'm saying, where everything has to be like monetized or whatever. And I feel sometimes, and I wonder if a lot of our listeners are like this, where you're like, you have your creative thing that you were doing and you love doing it, whether it was like fucking making jewelry or whatever, writing poetry and stuff like that. And then there was like I feel especially now there's like a pathway for a lot of things to become your hustle or your job. And that's, where things get real weird. And I sometimes think I'm just like, I just want to do it as an art form and have it go nowhere. But I run into a brick wall in my mind where I'm like, is that really what I want? Is that good or bad? I don't know if I can like label something as a value like that, but I do think there is some weird thing where there's a lot of people who are passionate about stuff, and then somebody says you should do your passion thing as your job, but then that kind of ruins it, I think that with anything, once it reaches a point where you switch and you want to make it a career, it becomes then a career, and it becomes the stuff that comes with the career, right? Like it becomes a job. Like I know that if this ever were to switch where I become like a writer, like for real making money, and I pay rent based off of that work, then it becomes like a job, a 9-to-5 job in any other way. Right. You have to grind and like do it. And I think that's the part that like on Zoom meetings.
And then you start wondering, what is it about this that like I like about it? Like any career, like you're like, what is it that drives me in this like thing? So I'm like going through that right now, because I think I'm like at the precipice where I'm okay, I should be grinding like really hard to get ahead, but at the same time I'm like, what is it about getting positive feedback on like the things that I create or say or write? What is it about that? What is it about me like putting my own personal value and getting someone to laugh?
Yes.
And that's that's where I have to go back to therapy.
We just want our parents to say I love you. That's it. That's all it is.
It is just like, I'm like, it's achievement oriented thinking for me. It's because like I want to do well, and like that's just like how I've been raised. And so I think comedy is a great way to know if you're doing well immediately. If you're in a room and you get a laugh, if you put something online, you get a like it's like this immediate kind of external validation that I think I like when I do well, but then I also spiral.
Yes. If you can I also, just to kind of bring the Asianness part into it, I sometimes think it's like I also want to be sort of like accepted by the mainstream. And usually by that I mean like white people, right? Because I realize sometimes I'm at a club, and clubs are generally like pretty mixed, but like skew towards a very, not always white, but like, it's a certain crowd of people, right? And I always wanted to be able to do any kind of room, and I sometimes think that I have a hard time connecting with like what I would consider like run-of-the-mill mainstream audience, right? I think if it's like a lot of Asian people, I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna get you. If it's a lot of people of color, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get you. But then if it's like a lot of white people, it will take more work for me, and I think a lot of times I'm looking for their approval. I'm looking for, and I'm like, thinking about the jokes I'm doing, and then I always think about like, well, does Ronnie care about this? I was like, Ronnie, does Ali Wong care about this kind of thing? And it's like, I feel they would get anybody because they're really good comedians. Yeah. And it's like they can connect with all kinds of things because they are who they are. But then I always think, well, if I put this stuff out, I'm putting myself out there, and they don't like it, does that mean I'm deficient because I don't have something valuable to give to this audience? Like I want these people to like me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't, that means I'm not likable or something like that. So it's like that I think, just to put the racial element on top of it. I don't know if you ever think about that too.
I think I just want to be liked by everyone all the time. I think there is something about, specifically with like white supremacy, that you are like in a room full of white people, you are the easy go-to thing that we've been taught is to, like perform or try to communicate for them to understand. Like, it's on us to get them on our side.
Yeah.
And it's to like do things that they will like. Also, even like when you think of structures of power, like to move ahead in this industry, you do have to appease white people.
Yeah.
Because it's like all white people who are in charge.
Right.
Like at the top.
Right.
I mean, it's changing slowly, but not really. But yeah, I think like I understand what you're saying. I mean, because I'm not a stand-up comedian. Like, I don't have that thing immediately where I have to like make people feel comfortable on stage, like to everyone like that. But I guess being an improviser,
but then also, like you said, putting stuff out on social media, because like I had a joke that I put out there, and so some haters came on me, and they're like, this is fucked up, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, all right, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I get that. I literally made this tweet about I ran a half marathon. I just wanted to bring it up on the podcast, and just like the final picture, I was behind white dudes, and they're huge, and so I made a joke and I said, yet again, white men have taken space from an Asian woman, but it just meant physically they took up space. They were bigger than me, and then they blocked the camera picture at the finishing line of the half marathon. So I tweeted it, and it got weirdly some people took it seriously, and like, this, she's so like classic liberal, like she takes everything and makes it about race. And that's when I was like, oh, this was a joke that did not play to like that type of white person.
Yes. And
I do remember I muted it immediately. It's also like really low scale, like we're talking like 20 likes, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I forgot, like certain jokes, like racial jokes, they're like, it's just like not taken the same way if you're like a white dude.
I always think about, because I put out this thing, and I'm like, one guy was like, I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy and I didn't like this joke, blah blah. And I was like, you're not a fan of stand-up comedy because you didn't like this joke. That's kind of the whole point, isn't that like the whole thing? So I don't know. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And ultimately it is my birthday, so that's what this is about.
Yes, you have your birthday party today, and maybe I'll come by if I can squeeze it in. Because
no pressure. Your father.
Yeah, but it sounds fun.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was an everything, everywhere, all at once. Asian.
Oh my god! Literally months and months after.
I had to wait until it came out on.
I know.
I don't even know where I rented it. Maybe on Apple or something like that.
Yeah. How are you feeling post?
It was so good. It was one of those things, because I rented it, and you have like 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I rented it pretty late at night. It was like 9:30 or something like that, 10. And I would say to my wife, I'm like, okay, we can watch like an hour of it, and then we still have 48 hours to watch the rest of it.
You're gonna watch it in 2 sittings?
That was like our thing, where we're gonna try to do that.
Okay.
No way.
Should have consulted someone.
Absolutely right. Within 5 minutes, I was like, okay, we're watching the whole fucking thing. And it was just like, it was so, like expansive. And you ever have like a really cool daydream, I guess?
Yeah.
Where everything is possible. All these different things are happening. It was like that. It felt like there is, like almost like a awesome creative dream, as far as like the ideas that were involved, but it was also executed in a way. And I think I want people to know that like it's just a good film technique. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like a craziness, you know what I'm saying? It made sense internally, and then the way they shot it was really cool. I also watched like the next week Multiverse of Madness. So a lot of multiverse stuff, very different.
I have not seen it. I will not watch it.
It's okay, and
no interest.
I'm a Marvel fan, but to compare those two things, because like in one of them, all the actions of the characters are driven by the internal logic of the movie. Whereas in Marvel, it's kind of like there's multiverses, but essentially they're kind of this. I don't know. It didn't feel like as just to compare the two, right? I think like from a film standpoint, one was like really fun, and again like expansive. Like there was a lot of different things happening, and the other one was like it's a little bit more structured, right? So, anyways, I finally watched it. It was really cool, really beautiful.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry.
Oh.
But that's only because I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
But
Meanwhile,
I
sobbed twice.
Did you?
I watched it twice. in theaters.
Is there a particular point that you're like, this is amazing?
Yeah, I can say spoilers now?
I think so. Come on now, everybody, watch it.
Okay. Well, it's specifically the scene where Waymond talks about how he fights differently.
Yeah.
When he is kind of like, I know you think you've been fighting your whole life, but I've also been fighting in my own way. Yes. That part makes me fall apart every time. Like, I think it reminds me of my dad.
Yes.
Because my dad's also a very like sweet people person, and he kind of like gets things done by being nice.
Yes.
Not that my mom isn't nice, but my dad's like especially like a sweet talker type of guy. And so that scene gets me when you kind of like understand their relationship, and then also the final, obviously mother-daughter moment.
Yeah, of course,
got me. So that's like both times I just was like in my mask, like it's like disgusting underneath, you know what I mean, like in the theaters, and I'm like, if anyone could see what's going on kind of under the mask, it's actually horrible.
Two things. First of all, can we talk about that the actor who is Waymond was so fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was unbelievably fantastic, but yes, he crushed
the scene. There's like one of the multiverses, like she's like a movie star, and he cleans up so good, and it was so like Wong Kar-wai, just like fucking suave motherfucker, and I was like, this is a true talent. This guy is talented, and literally Hollywood just brushed him aside for 30 years or whatever the fuck it was.
It's
fuck.
I know. Seriously.
I was so upset.
But I'm so glad he had this like vehicle to come back.
It was so
and
good.
Absolutely show off
all the different aspects.
Yes.
You know, that he was like the slick guy. He was like the goofy dad. He was like a heartfelt person. Yes. Also, this is a little bit of a tangent, but just like, can we give it up to heartfelt dads? Because I think also in Turning Red, the dad is also kind of like that too.
Like the soft parent.
The soft dad.
Yeah.
You know, soft Asian dad.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot of us have soft Asian dads.
Yes, my dad's a soft Asian
Soft
dad.
Asian dads. You know, I have a brother-in-law who's very much a big, cuddly, soft Asian dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They kind of...
Can we make a t-shirt that says soft Asian dad?
Soft Asian dad.
I would wear that.
That's another kind of, you know, I feel, hey, you know, there's a lot of toxic masculinity out there. But there's something about that soft Asian dad. He's just... He's like a cuddly mattress who's just supporting the whole family.
I love that. Yeah.
Right? And I think that portrayal of these characters is like such a different way of showing like masculinity.
Yeah.
Whatever, Asian masculinity, whatever, right?
Yeah.
They're doing what they need to do in order to support the family.
Totally.
You know? And it was beautiful. And oh my God.
And also, can I just say, everyone's fantastic. I think Stephanie Hsu's fantastic in it. And I listened back on the episode where she was on this podcast.
Yep.
It was when she just wrapped this movie. I just like listened to it. Yes, she's like, I was just finished filming a movie and y'all were like, can you talk about it? I just listened to it. And she was like, yeah, it's this movie. It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once. And she like talks about it, and you know, no one knew what it meant. So you're like, that's cool. And I was listening to it like with the context of the movie, and I was like, y'all don't even know. This movie's going to make people sob, and like, it's going to be like the first movie of its kind, and she's like crushing it. Oh my God.
We knew she was talented then, but then it's just like you don't even know on the next level of what, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny because when we put her on the pod, we were like, you know, we were like fans of hers, right? But we were sort of like more like peers.
Yeah.
And now she's just sort of like on another plane of existence, you know? And like she's not returning my DMs anymore, which is I respect because her PR person is very busy. So no, she's great. She's amazing. I'm gonna link somewhere on here to on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can watch it as well and check out that episode. She's truly amazing.
She's so funny too.
Yeah.
She's so good. Anyways, I'm glad you finally watched it, because when I don't know if you remember, when I watched it the week, I was like, I have to talk about it. And you're like, I haven't watched it. And I was like, okay, we can't talk about it.
We should have a thing where we just watch it together again and just live stream it.
I bought it on iTunes.
Oh,
I haven't even watched it yet, but I was like, I know I have to own it because I love it that much.
It's so good. Ki Huy Kwan. He's so good. He's Vietnamese too. Vietnamese Chinese.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, which is awesome. It's just So it's just, I don't even know if we'll keep this in the podcast, but I just wanted to remember his name. Anyways, yes, everybody was so good. Fucking James Hong was fucking...
I know. Just welcome,
Here's
Mike,
the thing
literally.
too. Here's the thing too. Can I just say very quickly that I always think about, you know, there needs to be movies, I think, where you pitch it and they have to be Asian or Asian American for the movie to work. Do you know what I'm saying? Like and I always think like, they couldn't make like, you know, Black Panther, but we'll put Ryan Reynolds in it. No,
right.
It's not going to make the sense. And I always think about these kinds of stories, and this is one of those stories where it's important that they're Asian, but it's not necessarily like their Asianness. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? That is like the key thing. But it is very important that they are Asian in this. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's about this immigrant thing, but then it's about, you know, the intergenerational thing. Totally. You know what I'm saying? It would be a different movie if you like whitewash this. Yeah. You know?
I agree.
You know?
It's just so good. And I think it just speaks to like a lot of our experiences in a way.
Yes.
That a lot of movies have not really like, you know.
I think, I mean, especially too, because, you know, I mean, I'm sure our aunts, grandparents, and grandparents will always wonder, what if we didn't come here? You know what I'm saying? That alternate life, right? Where maybe everything would have been okay in Vietnam or stayed in Japan, it would have been okay. That's like such a huge thing that's got to be, that's like a perfect jumping off point for a multiverse. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So well done.
Getting on that airplane or boat is like the schism right there. Yeah. And that's the decision. And now there's two of you.
Right.
Bam.
Wow.
Please check it out, everybody.
I need to rewatch it.
I'm talking about it like no one's heard about it.
I know. It's been like 6 months.
Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. If you're like me, you'll try to take care of your mind as well as your body. I try to do stuff like read, I try to meditate, I go on long walks. I just try to unplug because I think it's super important that you just step away and just reflect. Along with whatever you do, there's also BetterHelp online therapy. If you listen to this podcast, you know we're all about mental health. That's almost what we like talk about almost exclusively sometimes on this show. I've talked about my experience with therapy. I've done in-person therapy. I've done CBT. I've even done text-based therapy. And I'll tell you, they all have definitely helped me work through a lot of different things. So I highly recommend taking a moment, considering therapy. What's cool about BetterHelp is it's online therapy. So you can do video, phone, or you can even do chat-only therapy. So you don't have to see anyone if you don't want to. It's more affordable than in-person therapy. And you can be matched with someone in 48 hours, with a therapist in 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Asian. That's betterhelp.com/Asian. Okay, guys, I don't want you to freak out. I don't want you to get all fixated on this, but think about how dirty your butthole is right now. Yes, I said it. When's the last time you washed it after pooping? Never? You just use toilet paper? That makes it even worse. It's time you started washing your tush with the Hello Tushy bidet. I got one a long time ago. It was an anniversary gift. I love it. I tell you, I feel like that fancy French guy meme. You know the one I'm talking about. It's so cleansing. It's so nice. The Hello Tushy bidet attachment washes your bum with fresh water for a way better clean than toilet paper. Simply spray and pat dry it. And it attaches to your existing toilet. Even someone with a sociology degree like me can install it. All right. We want all of our listeners to have clean bums. Visit hellotushy.com/ANA to get 10% off plus free shipping right now. Go do it. That's hellotushy.com/ANA for 10% off. So yeah, we took a couple weeks off, and I went to Charleston with my family, and that was cool. It's sort of not remarkable. Yeah. You know, it was cool. It's a good place. Nothing weird happened. Everybody was pretty nice to me. Yeah, go check it out. That's it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's great. It. But I wanted to really hear about updates from you.
Yeah, so I went to a bachelor party, but it's really a bachelorette. So it was like a groom, but then everyone attending was a woman. So it was very much like a bachelorette, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And we basically got this beautiful house upstate with like a pool and a tennis court. And we just like spent the weekend there this past weekend. And it was so fun and like just chill.
Yep.
No strip club. I don't know what that world is like.
Let's do a little thing later where we compare bachelor versus bachelorette parties, because I feel bachelorette parties, you come back refreshed.
Yes, that's how I feel.
What I'm saying? And
we like talked about our feelings a lot. Yeah. You know, like we did like face masks.
Oh, that's fun.
It's like that, like very chill.
Did
we
you
like
do
all
drugs?
cook dinners. No, I mean if like weed, like does that count? Like an edible?
Yeah.
I don't think that really counts.
Not like you didn't do shrooms and like get weird.
No, it was just very chill.
Okay.
And like drinking wine. It was like that.
Nice.
I will say that I was the first person to cry. We were like going around talking about
trying to cry? Were you guys? Oh, okay.
And I'm also the newest person there. Like this is my friend that I've like. Everyone else was like high school, college, like a lot of people like that, like in his life. And then I came in. Like this person became close with this person like in the past couple of years, and I was like, thank you for letting me even join. Blah blah blah.
That's nice.
And the whole joke that we had when we were throughout the evening was who's gonna make him cry first.
Cry first. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guess what? I cried first. I was like, I lost.
I short circuited.
Yeah,
the
but
system.
that's like me. My tear ducts are loose, baby. I started talking and I was like, they're so loose. And do you have this thing? I think it's being Asian.
Yep.
That like talking about your feelings and externalizing it, that in itself is a big act. And so like I start talking and being honest, and then all of a sudden like I start crying. And it's not even that what I'm saying is emotional. It's just the fact that I'm being honest is enough to make me cry.
Yes.
Where I'm like, I love you. And I'm like, like start crying. I didn't say anything different or different magnitude than anyone else. It's just that expression is a big step for me.
Yes.
And so I just like started sobbing and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm the first one to start crying. Like that was me the whole night.
Did everybody
like,
hug you?
Okay. And yeah. Everyone's like, it's okay. So that was kind of the weekend.
That's nice.
It was very sweet.
I feel sometimes it's like you're going to cry because of just like, you know, you're like exposing your soft insides. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're rolling over and showing your belly. You know?
But I think a lot of like for white people, that's not anything new. Like that's like they talk about their feelings so much more. There are a lot of kind of like he's from the Midwest. There are a lot of people from the Midwest there. And they are so complimentary. Every little thing you do, they're like, oh, you're incredible, or like you look amazing. Any outfit change. And I was sitting there like, why is everyone being so nice?
Yeah.
Like I like Asian people don't compliment each other like this. Like you're not constantly like, I love you and you're incredible. It's like an energy that I didn't grow up in that.
No.
So I was like, why is everyone being nice? Like friendship isn't being nice all the time.
Yeah.
In my head.
Absolutely. The biggest one is like, let me give you it looks like your rice bowl is empty. I'll give you another bowl of rice.
Exactly.
That's the I love you.
Yes.
And
acts
you're
of
amazing.
service.
Yes.
Whereas like here, it was
acts
like
of service.
Constantly like touching each other, like playing with each other's hair, like lots of physical touch and lots of like words of like African. And I was like, I don't know how to do this in a natural way.
No way.
So I was just watching a bunch of like white people compliment each other and I was like, dang, this is crazy. And then I start sobbing the second I say one nice thing out of my mouth. I'm like, I'm not used to this.
I feel it's always fun to go to those kinds of things because I get to be kind of like a white people anthropologist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where I feel like David Attenborough.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't do the accent, but it's like you're just watching them like, grazing.
Yeah,
you know?
I did feel that way. I brought it up later. I was like in the car when we kind of all separated. I was like, that was crazy to watch you guys be so nice to each other with your words. You know, like what a weird complimentary weird thing to do. And he was like, I don't think it's that weird. But yeah, I guess bachelor parties must be different.
Oh.
Is it just like a bunch of dudes getting wasted and just not talking about anything?
You know what's funny is actually I think at the core, bachelor parties ultimately do get to the I love you so much, you're my best friend. Yeah. But there has to be all these layers to get there.
And alcohol.
A lot of alcohol, but let's just say so like at a classic bachelor party, it's like you're pre-gaming at 6. You're doing a steak dinner at 8.
Yeah.
You're going to a strip club at 10.
Yeah.
But if you can get to, I would say 2:30 or 3 in the morning, you finally get to the, bro, man, I love you so much. And I'm so afraid of losing you because when you get married, everything's going to change, man. Right. That's, or you're doing drugs and you're like, I think those are like the best memories you might have from a bachelor party, of just like, you know, being blasted out of your mind in a strip club parking lot, but just like hugging your friend.
Yeah.
That is at the core, that is still what it's about, but you got to get through a bunch of shit
all the
first.
steps. I feel like it's so activity based for
it's
men.
Very
it's
activity
like
based.
It's like we got to do these things, and then increasingly with time and under the influence of some external thing, which is a drug or alcohol, then you can finally talk about your feelings.
Yes.
And hug each other.
So the hugging thing too. So one of the bachelor parties I went to once, we rented a house in Tahoe. Still very activity based, because we then like went on a boat and like,
I was gonna say, you have to go on a boat.
We water skied. Yeah. You know, because we couldn't just sit around telling each other we love each other.
Could you imagine? That would be so uncomfortable. Y'all would be just sitting there like,
just sitting there quietly.
Yeah,
hell no. We fucking water skied.
Yeah.
And then we went back to the house, and of course we had to get a stripper. So we invited the stripper over, and she was doing her thing. And at a certain point, she's like off in another room somewhere. And then finally, that's when the guys, we felt, I feel like guys, we can't just start hugging each other. So what we did instead, we started wrestling.
Oh my God.
We started wrestling. And at the time, I didn't do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I was getting my ass kicked.
This is so male.
But we were all just like shirts off.
Yeah.
Hugging. Wrestling,
so straight,
you know, like, hey man, show me that chokehold again. But really, it was a way for us to hug, you know.
Wait, how do you wrap it up? Or do you actually end up with hugging?
No, we ended up just like choking each other.
Oh,
but it's like, bro, that was cool, man.
Like,
oh man, you like hurt my arm, you know, like that's what it was. But it was a way for us to touch each other.
Just like a way to show love through physical touch.
I think that's what I'm gonna start a bachelor party activity where it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and like at the end of it, the beginning of the class, you all do MDMA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We get the music going.
Yeah,
but
set the mood.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you some moves.
Right.
What's up? And then we're just hugging.
Oh my
We're just hugging.
God. I would love to watch a bachelor party.
It's
like
a mess.
as like a pure observer, as like watching animals. Like just seeing what all the steps are.
Yes.
And like the rituals that have to be done to get to the next step.
Yes.
I would love to watch.
It's a lot. I mean, for my bachelor party, we went skeet shooting in New Jersey, of course.
Activity based.
And we came back and we had a steak dinner. And then we got got turned up, but it was definitely, we smoked cigars. Yeah. Because I love smoking cigars. Another activity.
Another classic bachelor activity.
You know, and the funny thing is like whenever you do one of these activities, I would say at least half don't even want to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But what else are you gonna do? Sit there,
and
get to know each other too intimately.
Hug. Reveal our feelings.
Disgusting.
Oh my God, no. Smoke this cigar. Smoke this cigar and shoot this gun.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
so that we can talk about our feelings, dude.
This is my nightmare.
Show me this
is truly like series of nightmares for me.
It's fun though. It is weird, but you know, it is. It's just our
and then everyone, you put a mic in front of everyone and like podcasting, and then everyone gets really like real. That's like the only way to get people to be honest.
Bro,
let's start a podcast. I love you, man.
During the bachelor party, hey, I brought all my podcasting equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to do chokeholds and talk about stuff on our podcast? The bachelor party podcast is coming.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
It would be kind of. I would set it up and then kind of facilitate. So how do you feel about Matt? Yeah,
it's like dead mother. Yeah, you mean it is yeah, it is
very
hilarious.
Different experiences. I think
extremely different experience, but it
like
is
I was mostly sober the whole time.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, and I started crying.
That's it. I started crying when somebody put me in a chokehold. It's the same thing. Oh, I love it. We're going to do a segment we haven't done in a little while. It is Das Race News.
Let's get into it.
And we have one that's really interesting. I feel we're getting real emotional on this particular episode.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to have one. This came out just a little while ago, but it's still extremely relevant. And I'm going to read the headline here from people.com. It's Constance Wu returns to Instagram after being off the grid for a while. So, you know, if for people who did kind of do the context here, Constance Wu, you know, Crazy Rich Asians, Fresh Off the Boat,
Hustlers.
It
was like really at the peak of her career. Yeah.
Right. And I remember this, you know, a few years ago, the last season of Fresh Off the Boat gets renewed. She has this kind of like offhand tweet about like, oh, you know, basically I think she was unhappy about.
She was kind of commenting on the posts, like showing that she was unhappy that it got renewed.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And people kind of went at her, you know? And I think that I feel for some reason, people started going at her even before that, even with Hustlers.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, she says, I was afraid of coming back on social media because I almost lost my life from it. 3 years ago, when I made careless tweets about the renewal of my TV show, it ignited outrage and internet shaming that got pretty severe. I felt awful about what I'd said, and when a few DMs from a fellow Asian actress told me I'd become a blight on the Asian American community, I started feeling I didn't deserve to live anymore. That I was a disgrace to Asian Americans and that they'd be better off without me. Damn!
I know.
Craziness.
I know.
And I do feel like, you know, people kind of, again, went at her, which I felt was, I don't want to go and say, you know, I'm not some, you know, I'm not going to white knight myself here, but like, it was rough to see, and then you didn't see her for a little while, and now she's starting to come back, but yeah, I don't know. What are your sort of thoughts on this?
I mean, I remember when it was happening, and I remember thinking, why is she publicly posting? But then also at the same time, the backlash was so intense that I was also shocked at why I didn't fully understand why everyone was so angry.
Yeah,
I think this is more reflective of the burden that comes with being like someone who's maybe famous from like a marginalized group, like one, being a woman in general, like everyone turns on actresses at some point. Like that's what happened with Anne Hathaway. It happens with Jennifer Lawrence. Like if you're a young female like actor or like celebrity, the tide usually is like you're a starlet darling for a while, and then something will happen, and then the tide will turn against you, or nothing will happen and the tide will still turn against you. It like is the pathway for most women. And so I think Constance Wu was like, you know, the darling after Crazy Rich Asians of like for like Asian American women. And I do think on top of that, like I think when you're one of very few and her seeming ungrateful, I think was like the backlash like turns against you, because it's like you are representative, right? We have very few women that are like successful like her who are Asian American. I think to us, she was like, to the greater Asian American community, I think it was maybe like, you are, you know, our starlet darling, and any wrong move makes you seem like, I don't know. I think the backlash is bigger than it deserves to be.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I think that's like the burden in a way that's like super unfair. Yeah. And I think is like it's like just not okay for people to be saying this stuff to her. But I think that's just like how you see kind of how the world works in this very unfair way. Because I don't think the backlash would have been as bad if she were a man.
Oh, hell no.
And if she was not Asian American.
Yeah, I think too. Yeah, there's like you ever watch Downton Abbey?
A little bit.
The main guy, the character's name is Matthew. So the actor who played him left after 2 seasons.
The one where he got killed off.
Exactly. Yeah. So they had to kill him off, and you know he went on to do all sorts of stuff, and everybody was upset about him leaving. But it's like, you know, that is just like a weird small example of the difference, I think, between when a dude goes and tries to pursue a career versus like, oh no, you know, a woman's got to stay and fill this kind of like role in people's minds, you know what I'm saying, of being like a grateful and just a nice person or whatever. And it's crazy too, just because I think to add on the layer of like the social media thing. Yeah. Right? Everybody's dogpiling you. You know?
That's the other thing. When it's so black and white on the internet that once the tide turns and everyone decides you're something, people just go all out and they decide that you're a bad person. Yes. And like there's just no nuance or gray area or like even even perceiving someone as an actual individual, real human being who exists and lives their life and like makes mistakes or like, you know, has opinions and like has her own life. So I don't know. I also think that it is a little sad that the most of the backlash came from Asian. Like the one that hurt the most probably is the fact that the Asian American community turned on her. That is like really unfortunate. The thing,
I think, because I'm sure Constance, you know, as being a woman on the internet, she gets all sorts of trolls. Yeah. But then also to have like E2 Brutes, you know, kind of your own community kind of doing this. And to be sure, I'm sure that like many people in the community were like supportive. I was like excited about Hustlers. I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, like new shit, you know? But you know, she says that someone DM'd her, and that's going to be the stab in the heart right there. That's like, damn, you're like not representing the community anymore. Yeah. That's like a whole other thing. Cause usually your community is going to be like, fuck the haters. We got you no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even if this project doesn't work out, we still going to support you. And that's going to give you like strength. But then if you feel like you don't even have that anymore, then damn, you know, I see like where things can get super dark. Yeah, it's just frustrating that you have to have the burden of representation just because you are an Asian woman. Right. I think I was talking to my friend who's a big Mindy Kaling fan. Oh shit! And she was saying, because I have like complex kind of feelings about Mindy Kaling. Like and I think not that she's like a bad person or anything, but sometimes like, you know, I wonder about like the way she writes certain characters and things like that, and like decisions she makes on casting. Yeah. But her point, my friend's point was, why does she have to represent all brown women? Like, why does she have to make that decision? That's like something she has to do in her work. Yeah. And I was like, that is true. Like, I don't think it's fair that Constance Wu has to carry represent all the and like be a perfect person because she's an Asian woman who's like gained an X amount of fame. Right. So I do agree with that she has that burden, and like now we expect her to be a perfect role model for all Asian American women. Yeah. It was like, because she was, you know, I think anyone in that cast of Crazy Rich Asians is like, there's like the thing. Yeah. You know, there's like you were like the golden family. Right. You know, but then, you know, you look at Henry Golding. I just saw Henry Golding in some terrible Netflix movie. Yeah. And it's fine. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because Henry Golding is just like, oh, he can just go off and kind of do his own thing. He's like, which is how it should be, right? It should just be like, he can just go off and he doesn't have to represent all the Asian dudes. But like Constance definitely is like, she's like the Virgin Mary. I know. I mean, it's just, and also just existing on the internet. I just think it's bad for your mental health in general. But I can't imagine after something like this at her scale, the amount of hate that you get. It must, I don't know. I feel very bad for her. And I think this is increasing as I get older. And, you know, the more we're on the internet, you kind of realize that there's truly no nuance. And I think we need to, in general, be better before we like send that DM. Yes. Or like try to like label people as good or bad in like a holistic, like black and white way where it's like there's no room for a person to be a person. I think we have to like all kind of step back and be like, okay, that's not the reality of things. If you met this person in real life, you would never think these things. Yeah. We're just gonna leave it at that. Okay. That's cool. That said, leave a comment. Yeah. Leave a comment on this YouTube video and let us know what you think. What I'm saying is, if you're going to DM me, just only DM me nice things. I think that all the time. I was just DM nice things. Just do that. Just, you know, live your life. Okay. So, you know, hoping the best for Constance. I hope she has new things coming out. I mean, I want to check it out. Yeah. You know, let's do it. All right, so now we got a couple of voicemails here. Let's get into it. We're in the part of the Pokeball where we got the voicemails, and I love voicemails. I think of voicemails as the imitation crab part. I love imitation crab so much. Love imitation crab. I love that. I love imitation crab so much. I think they should call it crab, and I think they should actual crab. Yeah, I think they should call crab try hard crab. Okay, so you're bumping down crab to like not even that good. Yeah. And then imitation crab is the crab. Imitation crab we call crab. Okay. And then if you have a crab cake crab, then that should just be called come on crab. Wow, when you say crab a lot, it doesn't sound like a word anymore. Crab. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why imitation crab now is now crab.
Okay.
Anyways,
I'm on board.
I love imitation crab. Okay, and we're gonna be getting up to this with some voicemails. This is an interesting one. We got a couple. We're gonna do a couple, and I think there's kind of a theme here. So let's just it'll be fun.
Hey guys, this week I was a peaceful Asian. I've been trying to get more balance and ease with my life since moving to LA, and just being okay with being lonely and being by myself. A lot of meditation, a lot of journaling, a lot of just being present. And I think a lot of our stress comes from thinking too much in the future, thinking too much in the past, and I've been trying to ground myself and be more present in, what's happening around me. But I wanted to ask you both, since you're both from the West Coast, what is it between East Coast? What are the differences between East Coast Asians and West Coast Asians? So I'm originally from Toronto. I moved to New York, lived there for 8 years to pursue my master's, lived there, got really sick and tired and was just stressed all the time, and moved to LA and feel reborn. And just curious to hear what your thoughts are for kind of the coast migration between Asians, the differences, the similarities. Ali Wong does this great piece about calling her husband, who's from the East Coast like me, a lacrosse Asian, which was hilarious because basically, I feel like I had a racial awakening last year after the Atlanta shooting, and I feel more Asian on the West Coast, and I feel like a lot of West Coast Asians are more secure with their identity being Asian. Whereas on the East Coast, maybe there's not as many. You constantly feel like you have to fight, climb to the top. I don't know. That's just my point of view. But yeah, I just wanted to ask that and see what you all thought. And I'm feeling great in LA. It is hard to make friends with my community, but I know it'll happen over time. And I just want to say that Jenny is doing an amazing job. I like that there's a female voice balance now to the podcast. I liked it before, but sometimes it was hard for me to listen because it was just too much male energy. So loving that there's balance, and you guys are hilarious. I'm laughing out loud all the time now. Keep it up.
Okay, got a lot going on there. There was a big beefy voicemail, big beefy imitation crab.
Yeah,
it was like the whole stick.
Oh my god, yeah. I do. I love eating it just like biting it in. Yeah. Oh my god.
Dude, okay.
First of all, thank you.
I was going to cut it off there. Yeah.
No, I'm glad that you kept it because I was like, is this going to keep going? And I'm glad we let it keep going.
Yes, dude. So many of our voicemails always end with, I love having Jenny here.
Really?
Blah, blah, blah. So many.
Oh, good. I know I really bring a feminine energy to kind of everything I do.
We rarely talk about buttholes anymore.
I know.
I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do an episode now where it's going to be a throwback and it's going to be all butts.
Yeah, go ahead. And I'll be over here absolutely not engaging. I'd be like, why do you think you're so obsessed with talking about buttholes, Mike? Let's get into the why.
Yeah. Okay. A lot to unpack here.
So much.
So I guess the first thing, peaceful Asian. She
gorgeous.
Moved to LA. Got to get out of your little comfort zone. I think that's important.
Yes.
But then find a place that's going to be your new comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think that's sweet.
And also just being comfortable, being by yourself, I think is key. I think a lot of people don't do that.
Word.
So
also,
respect.
Don't worry. She still dropped that she went to grad school. So,
I know.
Don't think that we didn't see that, okay? With the little
Brag.
subtle, I'm trying to be peaceful. I'm trying to find myself. Master's degree. Boom. Okay. All right. No need to flex so hard on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's an interesting question. I think about this a lot. Being
me too.
an East Coast versus a West Coast person. And especially... Yeah,
but let me also make it clear.
Go.
I think Bay Area and LA are very different. Having gone to Berkeley, it's like you meet so many people from different parts you meet so many Asians specifically from different parts of California. And I do think there's a difference between being raised in the Bay Area and LA.
Well, let's
First of all,
let's start there. Bay Area, this is in California, Bay Area versus Southern California.
I think that at least my kind of take is that I have a lot of good friends who were raised in LA area. And I do think there are more different types of Asians in LA. It seems to me more diverse Asian groups in Southern California, and just more Asian people in Southern California. I know a lot of people who grew up only with Asian people in Southern California. And I think there are parts of the Bay Area that are like that. I didn't grow up in a part that was like only Asians. But so I think in the Bay Area, it depends on where you grew up. But also I do think it's just less. It's just less. It's just smaller. It's smaller. And in LA, I think my takeaway, at least from like the people I know, I think a lot of people are comfortable in their Asianness, but also never really thought about their Asianness too deeply, because you are growing up with only Asian people. And like, I never grew up with only Japanese people. Maybe that's hard to do in general. But I do have friends who like grew up basically with like mostly Korean friends who grew up amongst a lot of Korean people. And I think that's a very different experience. Where you don't have to examine your Asianness in relation to white people or non-Asian people in a certain way. Does it, what I'm saying make sense?
So you're saying that because there's so many, big enclaves of Asian people in Southern California, you can be more confident in kind of like your own culture. And you don't have to examine yourself necessarily in terms of whiteness, maybe is what I'm talking about. Like, I think versus the Bay.
But I'm talking about I guess I have to talk from my own individual experience, because sometimes when she said lacrosse Asian, I was like, I think I'm maybe lacrosse Asian. But I'm from San Francisco. Like, our high school had a very strong lacrosse team and crew team, if that gives you any sort of sense.
Who did you play?
I don't know. I wasn't part of that team.
Nobody.
I mean, I didn't play lacrosse. I watched one lacrosse game because our lacrosse team was apparently very strong, and I did not understand what was going on, and I thought it was a boring sport.
It's such a weird thing. I remember Berkeley had a really good lacrosse. We were very good at lacrosse. So weird. I had no idea.
It's such a white sport. But I think for me, I always was not secure in my Asianness because I was in schools that were like 50% Asian, 50% white, or and then I increasingly moved to more white schools. And so I always was insecure in my Asianness. But then I met people when I went to Berkeley. It was the first time where we had to differentiate Asians. Where like people come in like, what are you? Are you Korean? And I was like, what the heck? I was like, weren't we just all Asian?
We're all just friends? No.
And I realized that
we're all enemies.
Exactly. But there was like, I realized like our identities were so different because of the environments that we're in. Because I was like, if you're Asian in my school, there was like the Asian group. Whereas then I went to Berkeley and people were like, no, like we're different Asians. You know? And I found out people were like, I don't know how to talk to people that aren't Asian. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that you could do that and be that way. I didn't have that choice growing up.
So then what do you think about East Coast versus West Coast?
I feel like because I don't know very many people who are East Coast Asians. Now I think about it. Most of my Asian friends who live here are from the West Coast.
Yeah, there's a lot of West Coast people who are taking over.
Do you know East Coast Asians?
I know some. I think a lot of not like know them, but just interacting with a lot of them from just being in New York City for so long. And then a lot of our fans are from the East Coast. And they often say, I often hear that like, oh, California Asians are different. They're like a little bit more secure in who they are. And I think it's a little complicated. I feel sometimes the thing about, you sometimes see this more in California, is there is a kind of enough population density where you can be in a place where you are the majority. Right? Whereas I think on the East Coast, the enclaves are a little smaller, except maybe in Flushing or something like that. But we'll get to that in a second. But like in a lot of the places you go to, Boston or Philly, you're still small enough where like you can get randomly fucking hate crime called. You know what I'm saying? And that was like a normal experience. But like if you're in fucking Diamond Bar in fucking California, everyone is Asian. You're not going to be getting that as much and you can just kind of like live your life like that.
The fact that even I know what Diamond Bar is, and I've never lived in Southern California.
You all got to check out Diamond Bar. Okay. Incredible boba. But also I think that you have to have a place where that density also allows you to then see a lot of different kinds of Asian people who are living all kinds of different lives. You know, I think that's why I've spoken about this on the podcast before, where I never felt the whole thing where it's like, oh, Asian men aren't cool or sexy or whatever the fuck. Because when I was at Berkeley and even before, I saw so many Asian dudes, and so many of them were clearly hot.
Yeah.
You know, and so it like that stereotype I would encounter it, but I would just bounce off me because I'm like, you're clearly
it's not real.
You clearly made this
for
up.
You
know, you might as well say, oh, all Asian guys have blue skin.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I agree. Know? At Berkeley, I feel the same way. I was like, there's just so many Asian people
who are all doing different things.
Exactly.
Some of them are, very sort of quote unquote stereotypical, like, I'm going to become an engineer. But even those guys, like, there was like a huge plethora of different ones.
Yeah.
But and then I saw Asian people who were like music people, people who are creative, people who are like fuck ups like myself. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important, and I think that allows you essentially to be more comfortable because you can see more multiverses of yourself.
Yeah.
Boom, brought it back to
That's
the
exactly
beginning.
it.
You know what I'm saying? You can see all these different things.
Yeah. So I guess the difference here is not so much East Coast, West Coast. It's just whether like you grew up in an area that had enough Asian people where you can feel like you can like see different versions. The fact that like your Asianness does not define you, but if you are a minority in the environment, then of course your Asianness might define you in a way that makes you insecure.
Yeah, and then because you're, and to bring it to Flushing.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of Asian people in Flushing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel I get the sense that maybe they have a certain kind of experience because the population here in New York, and I'm talking very broadly, tends to be more working class. Mm-hmm. And when you're more working class, you're like on that path of like, okay, I'm going to, the professional class. Like I'm going to study and become a blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. You maybe you see a little less of like the Asian people who are just like into lacrosse and the Asian people or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that is, bottom line, class also starts playing a factor. Whereas again, in California, you're seeing like people who maybe they've been there a long time. Mm-hmm. Maybe they came here and some of them are working class and some of them are professionals. And again, seeing that diversity, the multiversity of the Asian experience allows you to be more comfortable. So I think that plays into it.
Yeah.
And rather than like just
coast.
because you're from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Or something. Although that is a thing too. So anyways, that's what it is. And I'd love to hear what our listeners have to say, about it.
But also congratulations to this person for having their like a racial awakening, because I think we all kind of, I don't know about you, but I had mine for sure as well in the last like couple of years as well.
Welcome to the club.
So I understand and I feel for you.
Boom.
And I think it's great.
Yeah. All right. Should we do another?
Yeah. We're talking so much today.
I'm loving it.
Hi, Jenny and Mike. This is Sasha, and I was a rice cooker Asian. So full disclosure, I am actually Russian-Ukrainian, born in Moscow. My mom's side of the family is from Siberia. My dad's side is Ukrainian Jews. I have a son, and he is half Asian. And when I was pregnant with him, my gay Asian friend was teaching me that when you're into Latino men, you are a bean queen. And when you are into Asian men, you're called a rice queen. And I looked at him and said, well, I guess I'm a rice cooker as I am cooking this little baby. Love your show. And I hope you guys are well.
So it's that she found out from her gay Asian friend that if you like Asian men, you are called a rice queen, and she has a baby.
Yes.
That's half Asian, so she said she's a rice cooker.
Exactly.
Got there.
Hilarious. I love it. I first of all didn't know that we had this kind of listener. And I'm fucking so down for this shit, man.
Yes.
We offered a little something for everybody.
Wait, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Did you know about the rice queen terminology?
I did know about that.
I did too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
I don't know if I like it either. I do know there's a lot of complicated shit.
There is a lot of complicated stuff. Yeah, when it comes to the terminologies used, especially sometimes with specifically gay male spaces.
We'll get Dylan back on here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I can't speak to this. I've just heard a lot about it.
I have heard a lot about it. So, but I do like the term rice cooker.
I do like the term rice cooker.
So, I wonder if when she was giving birth, did she do the little song?
I know.
Like she's done.
Yeah. I have I have that rice cooker that makes the sound. Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, I love rice. Yep. So, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that.
That's own it.
Yeah,
own it.
I love rice.
I love rice.
It's my number one carb, which I think shocks people. Because people love bread and like noodles and stuff, but I love rice.
I don't even think of it as food. It's just like air.
Yeah, I know.
I have to
I need it.
It's just hair.
I can't imagine living without it.
No, that's why my favorite carb is fries. Because fries for me is like a treat.
Oh,
whereas rice is just like, that's just like water.
I also love fries.
Yeah.
And fries is water to me. Fries is water.
Yeah.
My brain is broken.
So this caller, she calls herself a rice cooker. Love it. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a new dad. Yeah. But just the idea that like my son is a bowl of rice.
Yes. That's so cute.
Nom, 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 nom. I've been trying to dress my son in different costumes. It's hard to find because I want to dress him like in all these different vegetables.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like dressing a baby as a vegetable is hilarious to me.
And adorable.
So cute. But I want to do corn.
Yeah.
Maybe
sushi.
Sushi would be good.
That's not a vegetable at all.
That's not a vegetable.
It's my vegetable.
Doesn't even count.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't even count.
But it's just really cute when a baby's dressed like sushi.
Oh my God. What kind of sushi though?
Like whatever, like sashimi, like a tuna.
Yeah. I think I've seen one where it's like the shrimp one.
You have to do the shrimp one.
That's a pretty good one.
Maybe for Halloween, I'll buy it.
You know what? Not even for Halloween. I'm just going to straight up just do it on a Saturday.
Oh my God.
Just a random, Thursday. Just a random Thursday, take him out. Maybe when me and my wife and him are going to a Japanese restaurant for sushi, he's dressed up as sushi.
You know that you'll get free sushi out of it.
You think so?
Yeah. They'll be like, that's really cute.
Damn, that's cute.
Here's a platter of free sushi. And you go, that's right. I knew it.
Be careful not to eat your son.
Yeah.
Because he looks just like this little shrimp.
Shrimp curry.
Oh, so yummy. All right. Well, that was the podcast. It was a nice beefy podcast.
It was beefy.
Or rather poke podcast.
Okay, nice. Really good job. moving it that direction.
I think our listeners liked it. And if you did like it, leave us a review. Hit 5 stars, all that good stuff. And you know what? If you really enjoy our this sort of thing, you can check out our live comedy show, Hack City. The next one I think was August 12th, but then it's the second Saturday, so you can come check it out.
Second Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry, second Friday. Don't show up on Saturday.
Yeah, don't show up on Saturday.
Second Friday of every month. And yeah, you can always follow us on Instagram at Asian.AsianPod, and you can follow me on Instagram at NicePantsBro.
And you can find me anywhere at Jenny Arimoto.
Yes, and please leave us a voicemail. I realized that I didn't leave the number. Shit. You can always leave us a voicemail. The number is 646-809-7231, 646-809-7231. And until then, be nice in all the multiverses.
Yes, I like that.
Bye.
Bye.